everybody? Late start for me today. Got home kind of late yesterday. No, I'm not speaking. I literally just went live. I was gonna give it like a minute or two, let people join up. Um, but since it's pretty late, I'm gonna get started. Everybody can rewind or whatever. There's a few things I'm watching today. One of them is still gonna be Apple. Apple has been one of her keys this week, and it still remains key here. So, first things first. You guys obviously been here all week. Don't really need to go into all the details. Monday said bearish into gap close here. Yesterday the level to watch was at 199.25 for potential uh more potential selling pressure. Once we lost that level, we got the continued drive to the downside, right? Now they're testing this area we came down from, which is gonna be like 197, let's say. If they manage to reclaim 197 right here at the open and push back above 199.25, they might still try to deliver that upside. If they remain below this level here, we can potentially do something like we had drawn on this path, right? So either sell below 197 or be a buyer above 197 for a potential push back above that 199.25. So the level to watch I opened today for Apple is going to be that 197, what we fell from yesterday. Above 197, you don't want to be a seller, and as long as we're below, you're okay to be short. SPY is also holding up okay. So these were the levels we had originally said SPY could come down to and retest before bouncing higher. We're obviously a lot lower, but again, as long as levels hold up and we do break out on SPY, this is still okay. So we got EQ here. If we do this, this is previous day low. No, previous day high. Why does that show up as previous day low? That's odd. But okay, so let's say we break out above this. We're trading right here where we were, 2 days ago. And if we get the breakout above there, we go back to the levels we were watching earlier this week. So first things first, obviously break above 197 for SPY. Sorry, 197 for Apple, and for SPY, you would need to break above 528.85, let's say. Break above 528.85 is going to be your flip bullish on SPY. As long as you're below, short-term bearish, and then for Apple, like I said, 197. You have these potential paths: first target, second target, and if they manage to break above this previous month low, which is this area we did here, um, that's when you can get the bigger squeezes on the higher time frame next week maybe. As for earnings next week, it's pretty dry. No major companies reporting next week. Can't really tell. Obviously, just from these ranges, we're still within the same range. I get it. We dropped. Everything seems major, but the drops weren't that significant. Even on semis, we had this move up, came right back down into support zones, bounced, and look at where we opened today. So similar comments on semis. If semis lose their previous day high, which is here, this does not make sense. Why is this lining up like this? Yeah, I guess, yeah. If they lose the previous day high, you can take the short-term sells. If they stay above the previous day high, you want to look for the breakout on semis. But like I said, this is not weakness overnight like we saw in a lot of other names. So just be careful shorting here if you are shorting, or if you are short, I hope you took profits into the lows yesterday before the close. Like Berkshire, for example, Berkshire was paying a lot. If you shorted up here, no, you couldn't have shorted here. So the shorts we issued was one Monday. It went down on this squeeze. And then if you reshorted on this squeeze on Tuesday, this is the one that paid really well. Ended up paying over 300%. But even the first set from Monday ended up going really green here. But my point is, yesterday before the close, you should have been able to take some profits here. If you didn't take profits, now we're opening $5 higher. You have this 520 point, let's say 5.20.75 maybe level to watch. If we get above, similar comments, break out to the upside. As long as we stay below, you can see potential move down to retest the lows. But a lot of names opening on similar setups, so just keep your tactical wide open. If you took profits here at yesterday, you're not too concerned here, because if we break down, great, get paid more. You already got paid. If we break out, won't really affect you too much. But if you didn't take anything off into these lows yesterday, it's a little trickier situation right here for you. If we do get the breakout to the upside and you guys want to get long on weaker names, maybe like Apple, it's not a terrible idea. You do have the upside strength. But what you could also, mic check, mic is low. Anybody else think mic low? If you want a short strength, names like PM are still at all-time highs, so that's not a potential. That's not a bad potential. Bad potential fade into this wick fill. That's only if the market slips. So assuming Apple fails to get above 197 and SPY fails to get above its 328. I forgot the exact number, but whatever we said for SPY. Sorry, 528 point. What was it? 85, 528.85. So as long as we stay below those levels, maybe not the best idea to try longs at anything. And if we do stay below those levels and you want to try a potential short, PM is still really nice to maybe load some swings. They are a similar trade setup like, damn, I'm going blank. I didn't really sleep. What is it? My bad, y'all. We just put it on yesterday. T-Mobile, my bad. T-Mobile. So T-Mobile has earnings on the 24th. They have earnings on the 23rd, a day before. So you would have a similar trade setup to the one on T-Mobile. You want to grab time, potentially maybe 2 weeks after earnings, to cover a drop to the downside if it comes. So again, PM at all-time highs. Doesn't mean we can't squeeze higher, but we do have this open gap lower from the previous earnings. And again, I'd go for targeting lower here. So PM really low IV, decent trade. I'll go ahead and look. I'll look at the chain myself for that one. I'll take a starter set for earnings, a swing, and then I'll assess next week if I can add or take it off or something. Maybe not take it off. I'll see if I can add some more. But again, this is going to be an earnings trade similar to the T-Mobile one. If you already have the T-Mobile one, you don't also want to take this one, that's fine. You don't have to take both. But again, everything is dependent on those levels we discussed. So Apple 197, 528 on SPY, AVGO, let's say 170. What was the level we said? let's say 177 point. I mean, I guess we could use previous day high. Let's just say 176.10.15. So above here, AVGO is short term bullish. I wouldn't buy it, just letting you guys know in case you're short. I don't think anyone is short semis. And then TLT pulling back a little bit off the highs, so that coincides with the markets going higher. If TLT starts dropping off of these highs, fails to put any new highs, SPY's going higher. One name that did pull back a little bit overnight is gold. So gold's opening around 306.30 here. And then again, if you guys loaded swings, you have a lot of time. So assuming you loaded swings, we have till, well, if you grab the 516s, you have till 516 to make this drop to the downside. And then you have those lower potential targets. Did everybody that was short yesterday take some off, or you guys held overnight? I still have some positions overnight, but I secured majority of everything yesterday on the shorter time frames. I told you all the swings, like the 516s and stuff, I hadn't touched, but anything that was a shorter time frame, like a weekly, I took it off. And then I'm sure you guys know this is the last trading day of the week. We're closed tomorrow, so. So yeah, today probably PM is a trade I might take. Other than that, there's nothing I really like. We got Netflix earnings after the close, so let's see how that goes. And it's getting really tight here. So technically we kind of broke down here, so maybe they'll do something like this. Don't know. But yeah, they have earnings after the close today, which is interesting. Don't know how it's gonna play out since markets are closed tomorrow. Don't know if they report, you get a reaction. I mean, futures still close, still trade, but I don't know if they're gonna report earnings right at close. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, I guess. But yeah, we got Netflix. Miss McDonald's, if you covered it. You miss McDonald's, like the action or the trade? So McDonald's level to watch was that 308.14, which we bounced right off of yesterday into the close. And right now we're trading into EQ. So 310.85 is going to be your level to watch on McDonald's for the day. If we're above 310.85, I wouldn't be short. And if we're below, you can hold on to any sales if you're still short. But I wouldn't say this is the most ideal area to enter shorts. So like I said, if you're holding, a few positions left or something like that, that's fine. But if you're starting sales here, probably not the best idea. And again, that 310.85 is going to be your level to watch. So if we start going above 310.85, I probably wouldn't be short. And if you stay below, you can maybe go target the previous day low and maybe even lower. We'll see. But I don't have much size on the weeklies for anything. I took everything off Not everything, but just about everything off yesterday. So today I'm kind of stress free. Let's see what we get. And again, next week you could have a rally, majority of the week, and then coming into the major earnings the week after, we might actually start to see the bigger slip if they don't trigger it today. So just be mindful, not to force anything today. And then Netflix 975 is going to be an area of interest that we've been kind of bouncing around the whole week. So I want to see if they manage to reclaim 975 today or stay below it. And I'm telling you guys, that one looks clean to the south side. Just not really something I want to play with on earnings, especially the way it trades today. Because markets don't open tomorrow, so I'm not sure how you'd even be able to cash out of your puts unless they settle in the money or some type of weird situation. So yeah, not really worth taking it. We got 2 minutes till the open. Apple getting above its key level. SPY currently below its key level at that EQ. So again, let's just be patient at open, see how stuff plays out. But like I said, the one name I do think I'm a loaded potential trade for a swing for earnings is going to be PM. And I didn't cover J&J, but J&J has an interesting setup here too. I don't need you to pray for my positions, bro. I'm chilling. Like, if they hit, they hit. If they don't hit, they don't hit. The trades are, I'll be fine. It's just a trade and a day, bro. I'm not really tripping. I got till May 16th for my quote unquote big position. I got till May 16th, so I don't really. I'm not too concerned on the intraday action here. And then even next week, I'll manage the positions, add if I really need to or want to, if shit looks good on any breaks of key levels. So I'll be straight. I'll hedge it with shorter time frame trades. We got the open here, so let's see what happens next couple minutes. Again, watch those key levels. You get Netflix slipping right at the open. Yeah, a lot of the contracts took a little bit of a hit. Let's see if I could find something for PM. Yeah, Netflix slipping major here. Apple below that 197 for now. SPY below that 528.85. Let's see if anything changes here. I'm checking the chain on PM. Cost expensive. So the PM trade, I mean, it's not the best price, I guess you can say. The premiums are a little higher, but it's a relatively decent, safe swing, I guess. Um, 421. You do know when 421 is, right? 421 is Monday. We're closed tomorrow, and the whole weekend is closed. So you got 2 days left, today and Monday. If we don't come down today, you're gonna start losing. Like if you were to hold over the weekend, you're gonna take data hit over the weekend unless we gap down fat or something crazy. So if we don't start slipping below 306 here, 306.10, 306, yeah, you were probably better off just taking it off, gang, because that's a short-term trade on the date, and you're gonna start taking a hit. We have these wicks higher, so if they don't get below EQ here, like they're trying to do, if they hold this, they're gonna go fill this wick. So you need to see us lose EQ right now next few minutes. If they stay above EQ next few minutes and push higher, maybe get out the trade. But for right now, you might be all right. If you're in a longer dated trade, you know it's easier to sit on shit right here. If you're on that specific one for Monday, you got to be real careful. Any bounce above EQ here, you probably want to get out. So let's see if they manage to lose it here. As for the PM trade, so look, it doesn't seem too bad. IV's 33%. It's decent. For that same May 16 that we traded for T-Mobile, they're charging around $400 for the 160s, 280 for the 155s, 175 for the 150s. So they're charging you a bit of premium up front. Um, you really got to do the math on this one. But bottom line, let's say you get short at 160 for around 450 bucks. By 150, assuming we get there right, by 150 you'd be 500 bucks profit because you pay 500 up front, then you drop another 5, you get 5 profit, you paid 5 up front. So that's the math on that, right? Or you could buy those same 150s for around 175, but you wouldn't be in the money till way down here. Not sure which one I like better. If like I said, paying 400 bucks premium for this specific trade, I think is a lot of money. It's a lot of premium, but again, paying 1-to-1 on the 150s doesn't seem like the best idea either. So I'm up to y'all. I think, like I said, paying 400 bucks for the 160 doesn't seem right, but also grabbing the 150 doesn't seem right. Like, yes, they can hit, but just realize you're buying it, 10% or more out the money. Not 10%, about 6, 7. So yes, those targets can hit, but those are lows from last time. Versus being short from up here is a much safer trade. And if you want to grab shorter time, that's fine. But definitely at least cover earnings. I mean, you have to. Next week is earnings. They don't have anything shorter than that. Look at gold here. Small bounce off of EQ. Netflix major slip. What was yesterday's lows? Now we still got quite a bit. Another $10 lower before Netflix puts in new lows. Yeah, Berkshire had a nice little bounce overnight. Let's see what it's doing here. So as long as we're below 520, I think Berkshire might be alright to the downside. And then we got this wick right here, so let's see next couple minutes. For now, just keep it tactical, but definitely above like 521, you want to be careful. Let's see what it does here. And then Netflix already hit target 4, so that was a fast move on Netflix. Delivered target 4, and the rest of the names haven't really moved yet. McDonald's Starting to slip a little bit right here. If McDonald's gets below the 308.50 and stays below, uh, those might pay out nicely under previous day low. Bro, those paid. It is what it is. PM small flip here. I don't know if anyone took it. They're not doing. I mean, they're flat, down 3% from when I entered. I ended up going for the 150s, by the way. The 160s, it looks good. I don't know how I feel about allocating 400 per put on PM. I'd rather use all that money on something else. But they're both all right. If you want to take the 160s for May 16, I like them. If you want to take the 150s or anything in between, is cool. Just like I said, the 160s, super high quality trade. I'd almost guarantee you they're gonna hit. You'd at least double your money. But like I said, you're putting up a lot of money up front. The 150s, a lot riskier, lower probability of success, but I'm putting up a third of the capital up front. So do what you want with that info. If y'all want to pay the high to be in the money up here, like I said, you're guaranteed to double your money if anything. And keep in mind it's earnings end of day. Really risky to trade earnings on anything. But I like the setup, so up to y'all. 520 is your strike per Berkshire. Yeah, you be straight. We still below that, pushing lower across the board. You should be all right. You got five. You got next week now, or what you got? I forgot. Where's Abbott at? Abbott's paying here. So if Abbott loses these lows from yesterday around like 130, we can also see a nice little selling pressure on Abbott. Ooh. And then LLY, why I haven't covered it. I'm probably not gonna touch it till next week. Or am I? I want to short it. It's not here. Or maybe. So we stay above 842, probably not gonna happen. And then if we come into, I don't think they'll squeeze this high, but if they go into 879 today, I'll for sure try a little scalp to the downside. We have 20 minutes for this 45 minute to close. I'd rather short on a fresh 45. So I'm gonna check back in at 7 a.m. See if I can take an entry on LLY. But look at this. They didn't even have earnings, did they? No, I don't think so. Nasty. But yeah, I'm gonna see what's up with that in a bit. I'll keep it on here. Everything bouncing off the lows here, so watch out if you're short. TLT, small green tear off EQ, so that's decent progress. If TLT gets above 90, that's where it can really run. It has a lot of overhead resistance here from 88 to 90, so it's going to be a battle. Might chop a bit here next couple of days, but when it does trigger above 90, I think that's when we can get a really clean move to the upside. I just looked at the LLY chain. It's kind of expensive, even though it's the last, like, 0 DTE. These are pretty tags. Charging about 1,000 at the money. I mean, I guess the way it's moving, not that bad. Grab PM 160 for 516, or you got shorter dates? I'm telling you, bro, like the 160s look cool. I'm telling you, that's a for sure double in the money. But what if we pop on ER? If you put the 150s, you're risking about 150 per contract, which ain't that bad. If you grab the other ones, you're risking about 500 per contract. So let's say we do get squeezed. Fuck it, I'm getting squeezed on $150 cons versus I'm getting squeezed on $500 cons. But those 160s solid too. Because we were trading the lows on that drop we had 2 weeks ago in the 150s, so that would put you $10 in the money. So you'd cover your premiums and some. 516, yeah, it's clean. Yeesh. The premiums on Berkshire starting to disappear a little bit right here. We get above 518.50. I might just cut my last runners. We'll see what's up. Put for PM, yeah, it's a put. They got so it's a similar setup to T-Mobile. T-Mobile has earnings the 24th. PM has earnings the 23rd. You'd be shorting here into all-time highs. You grab 2 weeks more than earnings, so 516 works. If you want to grab a little less time, I guess you could, but I'm doing 516. The 160s are around 450, 500 bucks are a little expensive. If you want to go down to the 150s, those are maybe like 175. If you want to grab anything in between, that's cool too. Yeah, it's still green, still cool, but definitely give back a bit of premiums, at least for me, from yesterday. I'm for sure down over 33% from what they were at yesterday. Like maybe even half. I'm down probably like about half from yesterday on the premiums. Cause you got next week, huh? I was writing the weeklies. They were over 300 yesterday. Right now they're like at 175. Ooh, nice low lows on Apple right here. Yeah, that's why your premium's holding up a little better. Look at McDonald's. Yes, sir, ski. I'm a little butthurt. I almost added size on McDonald's. Fuck it. Not to date, by the way. When I was putting on the trade, I usually do regular sizing for my trades. Like I size the same for everything. Then if I really like something, I'll maybe do like a little more risk on that one. And this one I was like, fuck, I might add a little more. I didn't end up doing it. I just did regular size, but it would have paid all right. I'd be careful here if you're short. Not a fan of the way Apple's trying to base here. Not gonna tell you guys to go long, but just be careful next 3 minutes if they do something like that and hold the floor. LLY, I'm still gonna give it a couple more minutes. I want to see closer till that 7 a.m. Like I mentioned, for potential flip. If we do get the flip, LLY is pretty pricey, but you can definitely get paid out. Let's say we flip from here to retest these lows where we broke out from. That's 820, right? Assuming you buy the 850s, which I'm not gonna tell you guys to do because they're expensive as fuck. But let's say you did. They're trading around 1K last time I checked. Let's say you pay 1,000 up here up front to be short at 850. Every dollar below 850, you're getting paid 100 bucks. So meaning from here to 820, if you get this retracement, that's 3K in the money. 30 bucks in the money, which translates to 3K. So paying 1,000 here to maybe make 3K doesn't seem that bad in my opinion if you get the structure break. But again, 1,000 up front on a 0DT, pretty pricey. Any squeeze or chop or anything above here, obviously that 1K is gonna take a hit. But doesn't look too bad. And then if you wanted to buy something lower, like the 820s, I don't think I can justify it. Let's see what those are trading at. But they're probably still going to be super expensive. And by 820, the goal is to be deep in the money, not barely getting in the money. Yeah, the 820s are trading for around 250 bucks, which isn't the best, not gonna lie. But that's the setup here, something like that. Let's see if they manage to deliver it. And then Apple into that support level, see if that managed to hold and bounce. SPY at those lows. Netflix bounced off that 958, so that's interesting. McDonald's into new lows. I might take off a little bit on McDonald's here, not gonna lie. Anything you have that is a weekly that is still really green, like if you're not anything you took today, I'm talking about anything that is a swing you've been holding. If it's really green, weekly, sorry, not swings. Any swings like 516 different, you're okay to sit. But any shorter time frame trades, like weeklies that you put on this week, you definitely want to consider taking off. So I had held some overnight. They're still doing okay. They're still green, but definitely going to close a few more here before they potentially go red since they expired today. If you have more time, you have time to manage. I don't have necessarily all the time to manage in the world on these because they expired today. Any pop can really crush my premiums. And look at TLT slipping here. So that indicates the market might potentially bounce from here. So definitely trim any shorter time frame puts if they're super green. Like McDonald's is still over 100%, which is an easy book right now. I could take off some more risk just in case we do bounce off these lows. And then Berkshire's still super green too if you have shorter time frame trades. So my bad, I'm not talking right now. I'm doing what I told y'all. I'm taking some more risk off because why not? Alright. I got filled. Fuck it. Gold coming down here. Let's see if we could give up the overnight lows. So Gilbert, where's Gilbert? Yeah, I think he's still in here. Gilbert, if you still in here, if you still have your shorter time frame trade, we're under EQ. So if you stay below that and push below overnight lows, that's gonna be good for you. But if they fail to take out the overnight lows here, you might want to book any profits if you have any, and if you don't have profits, you get out with a small loss or break even. Better than nothing, because like I said, those expire Monday, and unless we get a gap down over the weekend or something major that favors your puts, you're gonna take a premium hit on those. Oh, he's so fuck it. Fuck it, bro. It is what it is. You gotta risk money to make money, but I feel it. You're not trying to lose it. But fuck it. I mean, at least it wasn't a big loss. I hope. I think you said you were down like what 20% or something. Right here, you would have hopefully been green or at least break even. Oh, I bet I'm taking some stuff. Down the bids just dropped on these. Sheesh, Netflix back at the top of the range into 975. This looks alright for a potential reshort. Not gonna take it myself, but that doesn't look too bad. And then LLY, we are coming into that 7 a.m. Candle, like I mentioned, new 45. I want to see that liquidity push us lower. And if we do get the breakdown below these levels, like I said, the LLY trade can pay you out. Just a little tricky, being honest with you guys, because of the premiums. It's pretty expensive. Not sure if it's worth the money. Well, it is worth the money if it pays. The risk to reward, assuming we get to an 820, is really clean. The problem is if we chop or stay up here, don't deliver those downside targets, you're gonna take a hit on premium, and it's quite a bit of premium. So be mindful, but again, that's a potential trade I'm watching right here. If you want to grab the 820s for a lot less money, it's a viable trade, just a lot lower quality and probability of success as opposed to shorting into the 850s up here. But like I said, that's super expensive. 40 bucks? Yeah, see, fuck, at least for your gas tank or something. My bad, gang. It'd be like that, bro. You gotta be able to hold for a few minutes. So this 112-minute candle kind of shook you out. It is what it is. I'm pretty sure you had been sitting in it since before. But fuck it. I'm down right now on that LLY trade. I took a small size. But like it's pretty much break even. If I get the break below 850, cool. Any push back above to the highs, I'll probably take it off. Small flip here on Apple. Small flip on SPY off of that 528.85 EQ we mentioned. So again, this is going to be your level to watch on SPY. Can we reclaim this, get back above, or do we stay below? Right now, currently below, and Apple still has a lot of work cut out before it gets back to the levels where we opened from. Gold to the downside doing okay. Damn, Gilbert, you'd be coming into the money right here soon, assuming we lose these lows. So if we give this up, we're gonna head lower back into maybe 304. Then below 304, that's when you have the major downside targets. Whoops, not what I want to do. All right, so we are about to get that new 45-minute candle here, 7 a.m. for LLY. I might try to get, let's see what they're at. So I'm down a tiny bit. They're down like, they're fluctuating. Their premiums are moving a little quick. They're fluctuating between 10 and 15% down. So I'm not sure if I really want to add another one here, because like I said, these are really expensive. But if I do get the breach, I might nibble for that downside, and then any new highs, I'll probably just go ahead and take it off. But the premiums are moving fast, and one thing that I really don't like is the spreads are really wide. So let's say we do have a small pop here to new highs, and I'm like, oh shit, let me get out of my trade really fast. It's gonna be hard to get out unless I'm willing to get out at the bid or below mid, and at that point you'd be losing quite a bit just because, like I said, the spreads are really wide. We have our 7 a.m. open here, and right at that 7 a.m. open, we got the structure below this level. So let's see if they do give us the push down. And I didn't get to add. Fuck it. It is what it is. They're green now. So remember how I told you guys a second ago I was down 10-15% fluctuating? Now they're up 15-20 fluctuating. Then Berkshire, this is the area we needed to reject. Rejecting right into that level. Let's see if it breaks above or stays below. SPY so far so good. Netflix good. Let's see what happens. Apple trying to break higher. Berkshire also trying to break above its box. Let's see if they manage to do so. And then LLY pushing down a bit here. I don't think anybody took LLY, huh? Breakdown on gold. Damn, Gilbert, you would have been in the money, gang. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So those gold's paying here if you took them. If you sold them, I don't know. I don't know if they paying you. My bad, bro. Gang, you was in that shit. It is what it is. Fuck it, bro. I didn't know you sold. You should have hit me like, yo, should I sell it? it was still early in the day. That's all I'm gonna say. If it's later in the day and it's getting tricky and you just want to save your money, different story. But when you're right at open, um, I'm gonna tell this to you because I've told it to other people. I always say it. The biggest risk in carrying an option is gonna be overnight. During the day, you can mitigate your risk by doing anything you need to do, whether it's selling against it, closing, whatever. You can mitigate your risk. Overnight, you can't. You hold the risk and you carry the risk overnight, and whatever happens, happens type of a deal. So when you carry the risk overnight, in which you did, you carried your risk the entire night. I think you carried it overnight, right? Or did you open it today? Assuming you carried the risk overnight into here, so you already did the biggest risk overnight, right? And here at open, you bet you got right out. So that doesn't make sense to me. Um, but it is what it is, bro. But yeah, if you hold them overnight the entire night and then you sell right at open, what was the point of holding the entire night? You might as well just have sold at open. It's different if you held overnight, you're up a lot at open and you sell, then good. But if you hold overnight, you open at the same position or slightly down, but we're at the same levels and you get shaken out of your trade and get right out, then that doesn't necessarily make sense to me. But it is what it is, bro. Shake it off. Fuck it. Last day of the week. Nothing major. You'll come back next week. You'll get some bread next week. But generally, yeah, you don't want to do that. Carry the risk overnight and then sell right at open. Unless you're up, then yeah, it's a different story. But yeah, it had probably been about 30 minutes from the open. You're like, all right, I'm gonna sell. So the trade still had a lot of time to work. It is what it is, bro. Nothing major. LLY's paying a little bit right here if you took it. Gold's paying a little bit. And then the rest of the names, I want to see us come back down. Like Berkshire breaking above that 520. So fuck it. I'm glad I de-risked a little more across the board. But I do want to see flip back down because we're having a lot of divergences across the board here. Let's see what happens. LLY, I want to see below 842, and I'll really start to get paid out a bit more on those. Well, let's check up on them. Currently 37% on those, which is decent. Want to see a little more, but I'll take it. 30% is decent. So if we lose that 842 here, I'll probably get paid out a bit more on those. And if we fail to get below 842, I might just try to take them off my books here before we bounce. Those $8 up today. Fuck it, I feel it, bro. So let's watch gold here. The level we just lost, right? The overnight lows. Do they reclaim them and push higher, or do they stay below? That's gonna be a key here on gold going forward. And then LLY, like I said, I want to see it below 842. Gold 425. You got gold 425s now, or you had them with Ramiro? I think you DM'd me a report yesterday. Let's see. No, you didn't have them. Did you have them or not? I don't think you had them, right? And then the PM that you have on your port, I just saw it right now. Did you add today, or you just have the original one from yesterday? Got them this morning. Uh, that I'm not a fan of. So yesterday when we were at all-time highs, I told everyone loud and clear, "Hey, gold today." Shorting here isn't terrible, but you're shorting on a gap down overnight, down about I don't know 1%, nothing major. I guess it's fine. But you need the break below this shoulder to give you the next leg down. So it's fine that you entered here. Don't know if you entered here at the lows or where exactly today. Uh, but yeah, if you would have entered green, yesterday you'd probably be green here. It's fine. Just Try not to chase. And if you were gonna grab them today, you'd be better off grabbing way more time. I keep telling everyone grab 516, grab 516, grab 516. You guys want to keep trading the shorter time frames and keep getting caught in the chop. It is what it is. But 425 doesn't have enough time in my opinion. Just over the weekend, like I said, if we do not get a gap down, we open flat, we open up, we open anywhere around these levels, you're going to take the theta decay just over the weekend, just for holding over the weekend. So unless you plan on tactically trading it today, exiting it, rolling it on Monday, different story. If you're holding 516s, you don't even got to worry about theta. But you guys want to keep grabbing short dated contracts, which is cool. I don't mind it, but now y'all got to worry with the time aspect of it when you could have just bought 516s yesterday and sat on them. So up to you, bro. But just be mindful that, like I said, over the weekend, if we do not gap down, you're gonna take a hit on theta on those. And you're buying them this morning, higher than what they were yesterday. So just be mindful. Whoa, what happened here? Look at SPY right off that 528.85. So right off that EQ, they said nope. Let's see if Berkshire could get back below 520. Currently is below it, but I want to see back below this little box. And then LLY, literally right off that 7 a.m. open, like I said, I would try to get. I got in before, but that 7 a.m. open delivered exactly what I wanted to see in the price action. So LLY is paying around 60% now, if anyone trailed. Not too shabby. So I ended up grabbing like I told you, I would grab the 850 at the money and I would grab one lower. The at the money's paying better, but the even the lower one is paying pretty well. So right now it's 55 and 40% on those. If we fail to close below that 842 here next 3 minutes, I'm gonna probably just go ahead and take these off. If we get breakdowns across the board, like Berkshire, maybe Netflix, I'll hold on to them. But I'm trying to be careful of this potential, just because, like I said, these are kind of pricey. Are you down on PM, Ramiro, or are you flat? If you're flat and you don't want to add, don't add. If you're down a tiny bit, you want to add, different story. Let's see, what am I at? I'm down a tiny bit on the ones I added today. Well, I didn't have any. I'm down a tiny bit on the ones I put on today, so I'm assuming you'd be down more on the ones you put on yesterday. It just logically makes sense since you bought lower. If you're down a bit on those PMs and you want to take it or add one, that's not bad. And then it would make it easier for you to manage down the line too. Whoops. Or you could wait till after earnings, see how it moves on earnings. If earnings move against you, it's a dud, kills IV or anything that you would benefit from to buy at lower prices. You could wait till then, try to add more after earnings. But if the move does come on earnings, obviously it's going to be too late to add. Then. Yeah, 21%. 21% isn't terrible. Wait. Oh, you have the 150. Alright, that's fine. I thought you had a different strike. Am I tripping? Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get filled. If I think you mean if you have the 150 at 2, is that what you're saying? Because there's no way you have the bid for the 160 at $2, at least not for 516. Or I mean, maybe you have it at that, but you're not getting filled. All right, that's cool. Well, up to you, bro. I took some 160s and 150s today. Like I said, the 160s are expensive, but the 150s are just low probability in my opinion. Can they hit? Yes, but I much I like it a lot better at the money. Just like I said, it's really expensive, but I think it's worth it. Down 4%. Yeah, it's pretty flat. Nothing major. You ended up grabbing the 150s or the one oh no, you said 160. Yeah, 160. Yeah, those are cool, bro. Guaranteed little double, hopefully. On low risk, I'll take it. That's what I'm saying, but like I said, earnings could easily send us up a couple percentage points. So let's hope it's down. This is a ER trade. If you want to get out green, if you are green before earnings, cool. But I do plan on holding through earnings. Then as for LLY, we got the bounce off 842. If we don't get a flip soon, I'm gonna probably go ahead and take that trade off. Was it the 5-2 160 MPM? No, William. So I got 516. If you want to grab 5-2, I guess that's fine. That covers earnings and gives you a week after, so that would be okay. But I grabbed the 516 160s myself. Just like I said, you're paying quite a bit of premium up front. If you want to grab a lower strike, that's okay. I just much rather short at the money. Berkshire might get back below its box. Currently below. Now all we need is close below, stay below, and Berkshire should start giving us some of our premiums back. I don't think my orders got filled. Yeah, a bunch of the orders I set earlier did not get filled. So hopefully we can set new lows across the board, especially on McDonald's, and I can get filled on some of those orders. Five sixteen, yeah, I prefer 516 to be honest with you. It'll make your life a little easier. Yeah, you might have to pay a little more, but hey, a couple bucks more to make my life easier, why not? So again, here I want to see if LLY could give me back under 842, and then that is where I could potentially have this bigger leg delivered down to 820, where I'll for sure take some of these scalps off. Well, probably most. I'm not trying to get greedy. If you give me this little $30 range, I'll take the profits and call it a day. Shit, I ain't mad. So again, the trade thesis for this specific setup was short the 850s and take them off into 820, which is a $30 payout. I don't mind it at all. Like I said, they were a little pricey, but it was a clean setup. So if we get into 820 or shit, even 827, 825, I'm gonna probably start taking these off. Yeah, bro, for real. Why stress on zero DTE and then get chopped and then get finesse and then lose premiums? Like, nah, shit. Take the higher quality trades all the time and it's gonna take you a long way. That's a problem as a trader though. You're like, oh nah, I'm gonna finesse a chain. I'm gonna get this shit for the low. Like, nah, bro. No need. Just pay quality. Get quality. If he gets quality time and time out, he'll be alright. That's what I used to do before too. Like, because you're working with less capital, you're always trying to finesse, but you can't necessarily always finesse the markets. You gotta play it the way it's supposed to be played. Let's see LLY here. If we could get the breakdown, SPY breaking down a bit here back into the 786. So let's see if we can make new lows on the day. Interesting observation here is that Apple is nowhere near the lows while SPY is. So let's see how that unravels. There you go, LLY, good soup. Where are those at here? Surprisingly, premiums aren't up too much more than they were earlier. They're around 80% here. And then GLD trying to bounce back off those lows. I'm debating taking LLY off. Should I hold it at 820 full TP, or should I just say fuck it and take my small win here? This one you for sure have to take it off on the way down. Just because, like I was explaining to you guys, anytime you're trying to get out on something with the wide spread, if you want to get out at the ask, you have to do it on down ticks so they can fill you on a down tick. If you're trying to get in on a short, you have to do it on upticks so they can fill you at the bid. So right here, since this one has a really wide spread, if I do wait and I happen to wait, a couple minutes too long, and we do start pushing higher, it's gonna be really hard to get filled, because instead of people placing orders at the ask or mid or higher, they're gonna start placing at the bid. So it just makes it harder to get filled on your orders. So best case scenario on a name like this one, how I told you guys, hey, I want to take these off into 820. The best thing to do is start placing orders at higher prices down here. And then if we do come into those prices, you immediately get filled versus waiting. And then let's say we do come into this level and immediately bounce up. If I start placing the orders, if you have the orders on the way down, you're fine. But if you start placing the orders on the way up, that's when you have a problem, because you're no longer going to get filled as easily on the way up as you would have on the way down. Hope that makes sense. And then GLD pushing back below the lows. So far price action has been playing out pretty clean, and we stay below this and push below. Pretty good action on gold today. Let's see if LLY could get below this level. Berkshire back below that box, so clean here. Hilo back in the money, yes sir. Hilo about to hit me with the. I took it off at the top when I went out the money. Oh, McDonald's starting to pay. I hadn't even looked at the chart, not gonna lie. I was looking at my fucking port, and I was like, wait, these weren't this screen. So McDonald's might give up low a day here. If it does that, sheesh. You guys know what this yellow line is. We've been tracking this yellow line for a cool minute. That's your point of control at 306.6, which we're not too far off of. If McDonald's does go back to those lows and gives up that 306 level, that's when we can do this drop that we just had a couple weeks ago. So massive downside potential from these levels if McDonald's keeps slipping. Let's see. New lows on SPY here. No new lows on Apple yet. So like I said earlier, watch that divergence here. Why is Apple not at the lows and SPY is? Did I get filled on McDonald's? Yeah, they filled me. Okay, good soup. So I'd place some orders earlier just in case we did put new lows, which we haven't yet, but they filled me regardless on this drop. So I'll take it. Like I said, we can fall more. I just don't want to hold this risk too long because it expires today. And they're still green, so don't really want to fuck it up. Let these trades go red or break even or anything. Nah, I was just playing, bro. I just seen your reply, Pilo. Good soup, good soup. We need a break below, what is this, 517.40? So 517.40 is going to be your level to watch here on Berkshire. We can bounce off these levels. So we need closures below here, or they could go back to the highs. And then if you up a decent amount on those two, bro, no need to hold them over the weekend. Your call. Anything that expires next week, if you don't really want to take the theta decay or potential hit over the weekend, let's say you're up over 100% on anything, any of those. If you're up, quite a bit, maybe not a terrible idea just to take it off and then put trades back on next week, just so you don't take any hits over the weekend. If we do gap down, obviously you'd regret it, but I'd much rather be safe than sorry. Your call though. If it's not up much, fuck it. You want to hold it, up to you. But like I said, anything over 100%, if you could take some risk off, why not? Let's see gold here. Gold flipping back to the lows. Can we breach back below low a day? And then LLY retesting the level we broke down from. I want to see new lows here, or I'll probably take it off soon. Anywhere back above 842, I'm gonna take it off. TOT pushing, so that's good. And then gold, let's see if it gives us that new low. McDonald's, come on, get below previous day low. Bro, the 315s from McDonald's are at 760 right now, and the 312.5s, the 312s are at 500. That's crazy. Not gonna lie, McDonald's kind of bust. I have to start trading SPX again. I haven't been touching SPX just because IV was super expensive, but I might have to start trading it again. I'm sleeping on the 0DT move sometimes. I don't like taking 0DT, but then I be seeing the returns some people get, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta go back to SPX. I know you can get those nasty returns, but I also know how fast the premiums drop if you're on the wrong side of it. But might have to go back, cause yeah. On the close volume. Yeah, for sure. But tricky here. Like McDonald's literally at the previous day low, so Bible dips across the board. Maybe, who knows? LLY. Let's see if we get the breakdown. And then, like I said, keep an eye on this. SPY is already at the low of the day and pushing lower, while Apple's nowhere near lows. So either SPY is gonna have to get bid up here, or Apple's about to mount back to the low of the day with SPY. If I had to guess, Apple's probably gonna mount, but the Bible dips across the board do look possible. EQ here on Netflix, previous day low on McDonald's, Berkshire coming into 786. So small supports across the board, right? Just want to be mindful. And then LLY, let's see if I can get a new low here. Like I said, if I see 827, 825, I'm gonna for sure take some off. And if I see 820, I'm for sure out. Can't be greedy, bro. Yeah, it'd be beautiful if we break below and get that little flush that we have here, but I don't need all that. Just let me get 820 and fuck it, I'll take it. New lows, good suit. Let's see if we can drive here on LLY. And then gold also coming into the lows. Fuck, LLY, let's get it. Let's see if I can start getting filled up. If we get those downside targets, hopefully I can get filled. Alright, let's get one more new low right here, and I might get filled on these. So ideally, I need 827, 825 to start getting some off, and then at 820, I should be out of most, assuming the pricing works out the way I calculated it. I should be able to get filled on those. SPY did break down that support. Let's see if Apple could lose its support. Berkshire coming down. Gold also slipping below the lows. So far so good. But I'm focused on PM 516. It depends what strike you're talking about, but assuming you're talking about the 160, I'm down a little bit. I got in around 450-ish. They're trading around 430 right now, so that's not too bad in my opinion. Come on, bro, fill me on that. I'm trying to get filled right now on LLY. Hopefully they give it to me right here. I'm just trying to de-risk. I'm gonna try to hold some maybe, but I for sure want to get all my capital off the table here. So SPY, nice breakdown. And then Berkshire starting to pay here a little bit more again too. I'm 540 film, 540 fill on the 440 on the 160. So like one thing I want to just tell you guys with smaller accounts trying to swing these bigger, more expensive trades, that's fine. I'd much rather you guys take safe trades than, you know, blow the money on a 0DTE or something. But what is a problem is if you start allocating all your money to swings, let's say from here on out, and now, like you said, you're out of buying power, you're not going to be able to manage any of those swings if you have to, and you're also not going to be able to take any day trades from here on out until that trade hits, which might be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So just be mindful of what you're allocating your capital to, because now you know locked up all your capital for the next couple weeks. All right, this I should have TP yesterday. No, it's fine. T-Mobile could still keep paying you. What strike do you have? 516? You're fine to keep holding stuff. Like I much prefer you guys put on safe swings on your small accounts than risk it on, you know, bad low quality day trades. I much rather do what you're doing. All I'm saying is you're locking up your capital, so just be aware of that. Now we got the lower day on Apple here, so price is now syncing up on Apple and SPY, which is what I wanted to see. So great. Lower day test on Apple here. Let's see if they breach below or they bounce from here. 250 put 516. That's fine. I'm not, that's cool. Hold down one. Between T-Mobile and PM, you're going to get paid out, man. PM is a little pricey, though, just saying. But you'll get paid out. So fuck it. Oh, yeah, we getting cashed out right now. Cash money. Did he sell? Yeah, he sold. Fuck it. Look at the bounce on Apple off that support. That's nasty. Gold slipping here. Oh, I'm fucking sick. I'm sick for you, Gilbert. I'm sick, bro. You'd be getting cashed out right now. Yeah, so again, anyone on anything shorter dated, consider trimming some. We're about to get target 4 here on gold for the fast targets. Yeah, bro, they busting. I'm sick though. Gang would have been about $2 in the money here. Like I said, we just got our T4 delivered on gold for the fast term trades. So if you have anything shorter time frame and you want to trim, manage, do some, it's not terrible. Yeah, you got the 300 since it closed for 516, but a lot of people were doing like Monday expiration for this week. So it's like, bro, it's kind of hard to manage. It is what it is. Fuck it. But yeah, those swings I have a lot of hope for, bro. Think about it. A couple. Today we fell about $3.50. If we drop another $3.50, the 300's in the money, and we still got a whole fucking month, bro. This shit's about to bust. Berkshire new lows. Not gonna lie, y'all, it's still early as fuck. We can flush throughout the day, but I don't care. I'm gonna take some more risk off. I had a good week, not really trying to fuck it up, and I'm tired too. So shit, rather call it a day early, start my weekend, go enjoy my day. So as for like Berkshire, I'm gonna take a couple more off right here. I have weeklies. I'm telling y'all, I don't want to ride these into the close just because if we do not continue falling, I'm gonna give up a lot of premium. So let's see, I just set an order. Let's see if I could get filled on that. Yeah, so my average price for those Berkshires, like the 535s from the second set, I got in at 4. They're trading around 18 right now. So again, if we drop to $0 and I left $1 million on the table, theoretically, like it is what it is. I'm telling y'all, I'd much rather secure the extra 2K per contract right now than a theoretical what if you make more. You gotta be grateful and happy with the wins. Like right now, over 300% win on that. Fuck it, dude. I'm gonna take it off. And again, if it pays more, it pays more. But I'm locking in some profits. Now I've been taking some off the entire way down. Just like I said, these expire today, and I'm not willing to hold these into the close. You can, but just no need. Not in my opinion. Look at gold. Sheesh. I know Gilbert just broke his keyboard right now. Did Abbott put in new lows? I think Abbott put in new lows. Not yet, almost. So watching Abbott here, if we do break these lows, we're gonna get a nice little move lower on Abbott. If anyone took that yesterday, and not gonna lie to y'all, I didn't get filled on LLY, so I'm gonna have to replace orders if we don't get one more leg down here. I placed my orders too high. That's what I get. I didn't get filled. But yeah, if we get one more leg down, hopefully they'll fill me right here. I told you I need 827, 825 to get filled. I didn't get 827, 825, so I didn't get filled. So hopefully one leg lower and I could get filled on those. You're an Abbott? All right, cool. Yeah, so if we get the breakdown below those levels, we should get a nice little payout, William. But that 130, 131 remains a tactical level. Look at Berkshire. Sheesh. There's no way they didn't fill me. I'm sure I'm out here. I got one set at 502s, one set at level 112. You had the 520s, no? So you bought 520s, 512s, and 502s? I'm just trying to understand how you took the trade. If you took all of them together same time, like the 520, 512s, 502s, same entry, same day, and you want to take roll off like the 520s, which I'm assuming you did, that's not bad. But if you're saying you took the 502s and the 512s here, that's different numbers. you saying TP? You're saying TP at 502, TP at 512? I thought you bought those. That makes more sense. I think you're saying you have two Berkshires. You're trying to get out at 512 and then the other one at 502. Right? I think that's what you're saying. Shit. You gonna be here? If you gonna be here, cool. If you gonna take off to work or something, maybe not. Not saying it can't happen, but maybe just at least take one of them off. Maybe you're not up too much because they're next week's, but trust me, if you would have ran the weeklies are up a grip. So I'm not mad at that. You'll probably get your fills, but just be careful any potential pops here. So if you're gonna be on the screens, fuck it, run it. But if you gotta take off or something, just be careful because you already know any small pop to the upside, you're not gonna get your fills. Yeah, if you won't be here, you better off maybe just taking one off here, gang. I got filled on mine just for the same reason. Again, you have time. I don't. So you have the liberty of making that decision. Like, hey, fuck it. I'm gonna hold it a bit longer. I don't really have that liberty because I got weeklies. Any little pop today, and no continuation, I'm screwed on my premiums for the day. But for the ones you got, you can sit on them over the weekend, which again, I don't really advise. You're probably better off booking today unless you're hoping for a weekend gap down, which it's, a big hope. But maybe you'll get your TPs. So fuck it, your call. I'd at least take one for sure. So if you want to hold out, see if you can get that 512 fill, fuck it. But keep in mind 512 is below previous day low. So you're asking for a lot realistically. And look at Apple. Sizable pop here. SPY also relative small bounce off the lows into that 1618. So if I was you, I'd probably secure some profits. That's what I did. But again, I got weekly, so I have to be a little more aggressive with my take profits than you do. Which I'm gonna have to do right now in LLY. Any new high, I'm gonna have to just take it for the smaller win. Fuck it. Could have gotten out here for a decent win. I set my orders too high, didn't get filled, so fuck it. Any new highs here, I'm gonna just replace orders, take the smaller win, but I'll take a small win over let this trade go red any day. It is what it is. McDonald's now below previous day low. So interesting developments here. Like I said, if we get under that 306, that's gonna be real nice. But for now, you still got to be careful. This can bounce from these lows. If we do lose that 306, that's where you have a real potential problem for anyone long or just in general for the structure. So below 306.60, anyone still short McDonald's, you could really get paid out. You're already pretty paid out, but that's where you could get the next higher time frame shift. You booked one? Yeah, fuck it, bro. I'm telling you, yes, you might leave profits on the table. Yes, you could have made more, but end of day, you did the correct thing. You de-risked, you booked profits, you made money. Come on now, LY, just let me get that fill and I'll call it a day. Calling it right now. If we go to lower day on LLY and I get my fills, I'm gonna just call it a day. I'm gonna go to the beach, fucking go jog or some shit. I don't know. But for real, y'all too, if you get paid, like, don't sit on the computer all day. Go enjoy your day. Go do something. I'll let what ain't gonna feel me watch. I'm gonna give it 3 minutes. If in the next 3 minutes we don't start pushing lower, I'm just go ahead and replace orders. Fuck it. Shit, I don't even know, bro. Either a hike or run at the beach or something, but rather get out. LLY playing, bro. Watch LLY go for the breakout right here. Apple trying to push back above that 197 we discussed pre-market. So let's watch if it actually gives us the breakout here. And like I said earlier, there was a divergence in price on SPY versus Apple. That price is still diverging. Why? Because SPY's at the low of the day still, and Apple's coming into that high 197 resistance. If I had to guess, they're probably going to sell Apple off these highs, come back to fill that wick, and then that would coincide with maybe lower prices on SPY. But the major test is on Apple here because Apple's into resistance at the highs with lower liquidity, while SPY is trying to, you know, dead cow bounce off the lows or whatever you want to call it. So let's see if Apple actually triggers or we get rejected off of these highs. And then LLY, come on, bro. Some arrows in case you don't know which way to go. Oh shit, what's up, Aaron? I don't know, probably something out here near LA. If I do go hike, maybe I'll go to Los Leones or something. Now I could hit a hiking trail and beach 2-in-1. Not bad. But bro, I'm serious. LLY gotta stop playing. Anywhere above 618 here, which is let's say 833, I'm gonna just go ahead and take LLY off. I'm still super green. I'm just being stubborn. That's what I get for placing my orders so high on the ask. My bad, yo. I'm replying to some text right now. Alright, my bad, I'm back, yo. Fuck. Let's see where we at. Gold push to new lows. So someone's asking me if they can buy Nvidia. Definitely not. So eventually I assume Nvidia will trade back at 30-40 bucks, maybe even lower. These have been my tactical targets from the highs, already got delivered. Now the next potential path lower is if we break below these lows, something like this, right? You have your 1618 around 52, and then you have potential even lower targets. But like I said, I'm targeting this open gap we left from a couple earnings ago at around $36. So anyone that is asking to buy for their long-term portfolio, no, it is not the correct time. I get it. It's a lot harder to just sit on your hands and not buy any dips. But ideally, where I'm a buyer of NVIDIA is going to be maybe closer to $36. Again, as a long-term investment, I'm not talking tactical trades. I'm not talking anything like that. Just if you're asking me where I personally would maybe consider buying long-term investments, into that 32, 36. And that's not all in. I'll buy sizable, some decent size at those levels, but I'm gonna leave money to add lower if necessary. And that's about, 50% down from where we're at. So I don't know why anyone would want to allocate a lot of money into stocks right now. I have other people asking me if they should. I have a friend who just got a new job. He's telling me, hey, should I start a 401k? They're asking me if I want a 401k. Told them, in my opinion, you're better off. Earning. Look at that. Yikes. I'm mad. I just saw your comment, William. Yo. What was my comment on Monday? I'm mad as fuck. I didn't take that. Just bringing up the Discord. What was my comment on Monday? UNH sells, Netflix sells, year Thursday for both. AVGO sells, paid. Success buys paid. Apple sells paid. Gold sales are barely starting to pay, but Bitcoin sales paying. But I literally called out UNH sales. I didn't take it myself. I didn't even look at it this morning, but that is a massive move. Whoever would have taken that trade, targets hit. That's nasty. I wonder how much those are up today. 20% drop on the stock. I'm butthurt as fuck. I didn't take that. But yeah, that would have been a crazy trade. I called it. Fuck. It sucks. I wasn't in it. It is what it is. I would not sell puts on Nvidia to own. Where I don't know why I would sell puts at 36. Like it doesn't. The premium ain't there. No one's gonna give you much premium for 36. I'd rather just buy shares outright at 36. But yikes, I don't even want to go look at the premiums on UNH. I'm gonna go check, but fuck. I'm butthurt. That should drop like 100 bucks. That would have been a nasty trade. Let's see. How much are options up? Am I really gonna cry? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely would have been disgusted. Bruh, that's nasty. Depending what you bought, you could have. Sheesh. Bro, the 550s on UNH were $100 yesterday. They're trading for 9.3K right now. So if you would have bought literally anything on UNH, even a strike way out the money, you would have made a fucking bag. I'm butthurt I didn't take that. It is what it is. Fuck it. Can't, you know. But yeah, we did call it. You could have made over 9 bands with $100 on that trade. Literally any day of the week, if you would have loaded it, you would have made money. We issued that idea on Monday. You could have loaded puts on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, any day, and you would have still made a shitload of money on this drop. And again, like I didn't take it. We called it, traded, called out the action levels, whatnot. But again, I didn't load it up myself, which I slept on. Even Netflix, I said, hey, I really like selling covered calls or taking puts for the earnings. I didn't do it. But if we have a move like this on what's it called, on Netflix, that would be nasty. Should have taken lottos. Yeah, we should have. I totally forgot about it, to be honest with you guys. Crazy. And it's still dropping. Let's see if I could get filled here on LLY. I'm still waiting on those. Nice moves to the downside across the board here. My bad, y'all. That one hurt. Oh, that's crazy. Fuck it. I missed out a fat ass bag on that one. It is what it is. Yeah, bro. I'm just looking at the chain like, no way. But it is what it is. Fuck it. Let's see if I get filled here on LLY. Hopefully. good, bro. That was pretty marky. I didn't take. I'm telling you guys, I'm not gonna take Netflix earnings. They can have a similar move to UNH. I just don't really know how they're gonna settle the contracts since it's today after hours. Don't really know how that's gonna work out. If you do trade it, definitely don't do weeklies. Like I said, I don't know how that will work out. But this move on UNH was a sleeper. Literally, the level was drawn out, called out in the in the notes, said it was a viable trade. We've been tracking this name for quite some time, so completely fumbled the bag on that one. But it is what it is. Always gonna be another setup, but definitely would have been nice to throw $1,000 on that and come out with shit. What did that hit? That's nasty. If we would have done $1,000 on that, we could have made. I know it doesn't sound realistic, but those almost 100x. So with $1,000, you could have almost made 100K on that trade. I wouldn't take a lot of William. If you want to, it's up to you. I probably wouldn't. But yeah, that would have been a disgusting trade on UNH. Up to y'all. Like I said, if you guys want to take Netflix, go for it. Just definitely don't take this week's contracts. 'Cause I don't know how it'll play out. But I wouldn't. Check back. Alright, fuck it. Catch again. Good luck. I'm still waiting on LLY to be honest with you guys. If I do get the drop and get filled here, I'm gonna probably call it a day for myself. If we get the breakout, I'm gonna have to replace my orders and make a little bit less money on that trade. But that's all I'm really waiting on myself. Most trades I already secured a decent amount of profits, and I'm just waiting to get out of this one right here. I'm a little butthurt about that UNH trade, not gonna lie. Sucks when you track something, call it out, plan for it, and just don't execute. It is what it is. A lot of other names paid, definitely not no 90x, but it is what it is. What did we have down here? Netflix still into those highs. Netflix might be another trade soon. I'll want to short for a big drop. I already told you guys, but I want to wait for that gap to close. If it doesn't happen until next week, then I'll short that next week. That's one of the names I think can hopefully have a drop like UNH. I'm mad now because I already know I'm gonna be chasing a crazy return like that one on these other names like Costco and Netflix. Not Netflix, probably Costco. But again, it is what it is. If you miss the setup, fuck it. Definitely would have been nice for anybody to catch that though. I'm telling you guys, with about $1,000 on that trade, you could have made it 100,000, roughly, a little less maybe. Looks like we're gonna get the breakout here on LLY. Might have to replace my orders. Let's see. Still up quite a bit. So let's see. Might give it 2-3 minutes, but I'm probably just gonna end up covering everything I have here for the weeklies and calling it a week for myself. Then we'll just see what we get next week. We can continue to come down a bit, maybe, just not something I'd really want to bet on myself. Only thing I don't necessarily like is this wick we left on Apple. This makes me a little cautious for the potential upside. Maybe they break down from here, but not looking to do too much myself here. So the only levels that really matter are the same ones from the morning. If Apple gets above 197 here, then sure, they can really drive this a bit higher. But for now, I'm probably just going to go ahead and call it a day here for myself. We also got the bounce off the previous day low on McDonald's. So if you're short in green, probably just go ahead and call it a week here. That's what I'm doing. If you guys want to stick around, just good luck. Don't force trades. Don't mess up a good week on the last day on a short week. So just call it or be careful if you guys are going to stick around, and then we'll see what we catch next week. If anyone has any questions about anything, let me know right now. But I think it was an alright week. Hopefully next week we get better setups. Next week I'm not going to be doing too much. Maybe set up some swings and some positioning for the next 2 weeks to cover some earnings. But I'm not going to be looking for too much movement next week. We have some kind of wide ranges we developed this week, and until we break out of those ranges next week, maybe just chop around for a bit. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not hoping or planning for too much next week. Probably just gonna take it kind of slow, see what we do within these ranges, and more than likely just rather set up some swings to go out a couple weeks out into May, as opposed to taking a lot of active trades that week. But we'll see. And then I'll probably do a Sunday session, so whoever wants to be here on Sunday, we'll cover that. And then if you guys want me to cover anything specific, any educational content trading wise, any stocks, anything, just let me know in the Discord. But like I said, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and call it a day here myself. And if you do stick around, just be careful what you do. No need to force trades into these zones. At least not something I'd be doing. Like I said, SPY, we have quite a bit of a range. This is what you can't really see it on that time frame. We said this morning, as long as these lows hold, this was a potential, right? So this was the original setup. We said if we reclaim these levels, this is what can happen. As long as we're below this is going to be your forward resistance. You can expect selling pressure, but if they do reclaim that level here, which they're trying to do, then we can have that discussion for the upside scenario. And who's going to lead that push to the upside? It's going to be Apple. So if you are going to plan to stick around on your screen, watch Apple here. Does it manage to break above 197? If it does, watch for that potential breakout across the board. And if it fails to get above 197 here, then you might be okay to remain short, tactically short-term comments for the next, I don't know, 15 minutes or throughout the day, depending how this unravels. Easter sesh? Oh, I forgot it's I totally forgot it's Easter this Sunday. Maybe not. You're right. I might not even be home. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll do a short sesh in the morning or late at night, or I don't know. I'll see what's up. I'll update you guys in the Discord. Not sure about Sunday now. Totally forgot. But yeah, we'll see. We'll figure something out, and if not, I'll just hop on Monday a couple hours early. If anyone wants to join me, we could do that. But again, I'll see what we do. I'll figure it out. As of now, it does look like we might get a tiny bit of a pullback, but like I said, nothing major. These are 3-minute candles. Until you don't get a confirmation above 197, you can remain short-term bearish, and any break above that, I would say that invalidates the sells. PM at highs got a good fill. All right, cool. Yeah, but I'm down a bit on PM. I don't think I'm gonna add to that, William. But if you got in right now, that's not bad. I'm down barely, maybe about 5-6%. But yeah, I'm not doing nothing. I'll reassess that trade next week, see if I have to do anything with it, decide if I want to take it off before AR holds it. But probably gonna end up holding. We'll see. After how UNH went on earnings, I'm shorting everything for earnings now. No, I'm just playing. Don't do that. But yeah, that's crazy. All right. Does anybody got questions about anything? Nobody. I think you were already in PM. No. So I'm sure William has way better fills than we do. And keep in mind what I said about PM. If the markets do break out higher, PM can also break out higher from here. So you got to be careful how much you size in here. Leave room to add next week if necessary. So again, Apple, one to watch here. And anyone who is taking any trades over the weekend, holding over the weekend, you don't have to manage today. Well, maybe you do, nobody, because wait, actually, was it you or was it someone else who asked earlier? No, I'm confusing you for someone else, I think. No, it was you. Yeah, so you got T-Mobile and you got PM. What you have to be considerate of is if you have to manage anything next week. What do I mean by manage anything? Let's say the premiums drop on either T-Mobile or PM. You don't really have much capital to make any other trades if you needed to add per se. And you're also not going to have much capital to take any scalps next week if the opportunities present themselves. So if you want to book one, it's up to you. But generally, when you put on a swing, the thesis is to let it ride and actually swing it. And if you're not going to actually, sit on contracts for the entire duration of the trade, you're better off just doing what you've been doing and trying to scalp the shorter dates or whatever. So up to you. But it's not the best idea to hold anything over the weekend. If it's 516, you should be fine. If you have contracts expiring next week, that's not a swing. You should definitely try to manage that. And if you do want to hold over the weekend, that's fine. Just be mindful. Like I said, you can take a premium hit over the weekend. I would say majority of the time, it's going to work out against you if you do hold contracts over the weekend, assuming you bought them. If you're selling, that's a different story. Still don't recommend it, but it's not the best idea to hold anything over the weekend. If you have 516 everything, that's fine. That's okay in terms of what you're holding. Just like I said, you're not leaving much room to manage anything in the account. One thing I do want to point out real quick is the divergence I mentioned this morning. So while SPY was at the highs, Apple was not. Then we got the breakdown. SPY was at the lows. Apple was not at the lows. So now is Apple's back at the highs and SPY coming back at the highs. So the divergence that had been happening the entire day is finally starting to take care of itself. Didn't play out perfectly, but for the most part, right here, the divergences are not as bad as they were this morning. So that's good for price action. And if I had to guess, they're probably going to take it higher from here now that the divergence have taken care of themselves. But we'll see. TMOS and PM, yeah, like I said, if the markets do break out, just be careful. If we have any type of move up on T-Mobile and PM, you're going to get squeezed, lose a bit of premium. And from what you're telling me is you do not have the capital to manage those if you had to add. So just be aware of that potential situation. I still think those trades are viable. And they can pay from here on out, just like I said. I can add if necessary. You can't. That's the difference. Doesn't mean the trade's not good. Doesn't mean you have to sell. Just be aware of that situation in case we do move up into next week. You're mentally prepared to see the loss or know what you're going to do or whatever. I don't want you guys to be blindsided. Then next week we're down 20% on the swings or whatever. And you guys are like, oh, fuck, it's down 20%. I should have not bought. I should have waited or whatever. That's why I'm telling you guys clearly right now. That is a potential scenario. If you don't want to hold it or you can't, then, to each his own. But fuck it. I'm gonna probably call it a day here. If y'all need some, hit me up in the Discord. But I'm gonna probably head out from the crib, so it won't be too active. And then we'll figure it out. Maybe tomorrow, since the markets are closed, we'll do an educational session if you guys would like that, or we'll figure some out, do some back testing or something. We'll see. But fuck it. I'm gonna end the stream here. I'll catch y'all. If y'all got questions about anything, let me know. Hope y'all have a blessed weekend, and I'll see you in the Discord. Get a vote in. See if some of y'all want to do like an educational session tomorrow. We could do that. But all right then, I'll see ya.